Chapter 5. Capitalist Simple Cooperation and Manufacture. Capitalist Simple Cooperation. Initial stage. Capitalism starts by taking over existing production methods, handicrafts, small farms, and concentrating the means of production, tools, land, etc., in the hands of capitalists. Workers, without these means, must sell their labor. Simple cooperation. Capitalists bring many workers together in larger workshops. This increases the scale of production but doesn't initially change the tools or technique. Benefits. Economies of scale, cheaper to build one big workshop than many small ones. Reduced individual risk for workers, collective output smooths out individual variations in skill. Increased productivity through collaboration. Manufacture. This stage builds on simple cooperation by introducing a division of labor within the workshop. 2 paths, bringing together craftsmen of different skills, e.g., coachmaking. Bringing together craftsmen of the same skill and dividing the production process into specialized tasks, e.g., needle making. Consequences. Increased specialization leads to greater efficiency. Workers become more productive by focusing on a single, repetitive task. Tools become specialized for specific tasks. Overall productivity increases further. Extreme specialization. Manufacture breaks down production into tiny, repetitive tasks. This dramatically increases output, e.g., needle production, but has severe consequences for workers. Worker dehumanization. Repetitive tasks lead to physical deformities and mental stunting. Marx called this a refined and civilized method of exploitation. Brutal working conditions. Long hours, low wages, and harsh discipline were common in manufactories. Merchant and industrial capital. While merchant and usurer's capital existed before, manufacture marks the rise of industrial capital, capital invested directly in production. Blurred lines. Manufactory owners often acted as merchants, buying from and selling to smaller producers. This often involved debt, further trapping those producers. Capitalist domestic industry. This system involved sending materials to workers' homes to be processed. It was a way to extend the division of labor and control even more workers. Exploitation at home. Home-based workers faced even lower pay and worse conditions than those in workshop. This system was prevalent in pre-industrial Russia. Historical significance of manufacture. Increased productivity. Manufacture significantly boosted productivity through the division of labor and specialization. Foundation for industrialization. It paved the way for the Industrial Revolution by developing the concepts of the division of labor, workplace organization, and the factory system. Intensified exploitation. Manufacture also intensified the exploitation of workers, highlighting the social problems inherent in capitalist production. Transitional stage. Manufacture bridged the gap between small-scale crafts and large-scale industrial production. It combined hand techniques with capitalist organization and a division of labor. Limited scope. While manufacture increased productivity, it couldn't fully replace small-scale production. Hand techniques limited its reach, and many goods were still produced by artisans under the control of capitalists. Preparing for industrialization. Crucially, manufacture laid the groundwork for the Industrial Revolution in 3 ways. Simplified tasks. The division of labor broke down complex processes into simple actions, making mechanization possible. Specialized tools. Tools were refined and improved, leading to the development of more advanced machinery. Skilled workforce. Manufacture created a pool of workers with specialized skills, ready to operate machines in factories. The rise of capitalism in agriculture. Growing specialization. As capitalism developed, agriculture became more specialized, with regions focusing on specific crops or products. This increased trade and competition. Differentiation of the peasantry. Market forces led to a division within the peasantry. Rural bourgeoisie, colloques wealthy peasants who employed hired labor and exploited poorer peasants. Agricultural proletariat. Landless laborers who had to sell their labor to survive. Rural poor. Small landowners forced to work for wages to supplement their meager income. Middle peasantry, a shrinking group caught between the rural bourgeoisie and the poor, struggling to maintain their independence. Legacy of feudalism. In many countries, the transition to capitalism in agriculture was incomplete. Large landowners persisted, and peasants were often forced to lease land on unfavorable terms, hindering their progress. Work payment system. In post-serfdom Russia, landlords used work payment to exploit peasants. Peasants were forced to work on the landlord's land in exchange for rent or loans, using their own tools and animals. Unsuitability for capitalist development. This system hindered capitalist development because wealthy peasants could afford to pay rent, avoiding work payment. Poor peasants lacked the means, tools, animals, for work payment, becoming wage laborers instead. The decline of the middle peasantry, the main source of labor for work payment, further weakened the system. Shift to hired labor. Landlords increasingly relied on hired labor, which was more productive, marking a shift towards capitalist agriculture. Formation of a home market, growing demand. The development of capitalism in industry and agriculture created a growing home market for goods. New industries arose to process agricultural raw materials. Industrial growth fueled demand for agricultural products. The expanding proletariat needed consumer goods. Dual nature of the market. The bourgeoisie demanded means of production, tools, machines, raw materials, and consumer goods. The growing proletariat demanded basic necessities. Limitations of manufacture. Manufacture, with its hand-based techniques, couldn't meet the rising demand, creating a need for more efficient, large-scale machine production.